In today's video, we're going to go over the biggest single opportunity in crypto right now. And I'm not just talking about a coin that you can buy with the expectation that it goes up throughout this bull market. I'm talking about a project you can get involved with, dig into the ecosystem, and potentially earn up to 4 different ecosystem token airdrops, earning free money in the future, while also this coin we're going to talk about in this video has shown some of the most strength and has some of the biggest use cases in the current cycle. So without further ado, let's jump into it.
And we'll keep today's video short and actionable for you guys because I think this is some of the best alpha that you can take advantage of within the ecosystem that we're talking about in this video, especially for future returns. But before we get started, drop down below, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel for more. If you're enjoying the content here on In the Game every single week, we want to hear from you in the comment section down below. And of course, like and subscribe for more content. And a big shout out to our sponsors here on the channel. We have some incredible sponsors from Nexus, 𝗪𝗏𝗪, and 𝗪𝗏𝗪. I want to give a big shout out to 𝗪𝗏𝗪. If you need a centralized exchange, no KYC, you can use from anywhere with some of the best sign up bonuses in the entire industry. You can drop down below and check out our invite link to 𝗪𝗏𝗪 and be able to qualify for some of their industry leading bonuses on one of the top no KYC centralized exchanges in all of crypto. And let's dive into it. Obviously, we had a pretty big market flush after the Jackson Hole speech this last Friday, which pumped up the market, and then Bitcoin did do a retrace, still really sitting pretty low here at 111,000, and Bitcoin dominance has dropped. We're seeing a lot more motion into altcoins, especially tokens like Solana, which right now, as of recording this, sitting over $200. We see Hyperliquid at $49, hovering around those all-time highs. So definitely seeing some activity into some of these top major coin ecosystems, which if you've been watching the channel, that's really all I'm focused on right now, because those low caps and mid caps, those will start running and we're allocated into the ones that we want to be for the rest of the cycle. However, in the short term, the first rotations are starting to begin. We saw ETH hit all-time highs. We're seeing Solana over $200. Now we're seeing Hyperliquid at almost $50. So this is the type of thing that we're setting up for, and then we can really start rotating capital as the narratives start to change, whether AI pumps, gaming, RWA, etc. But we're going to be diving into some of the most actionable items that you can be doing on chain right now for current and future returns. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. For anyone that's super bearish right now, we're still seeing ETH and other big assets be accumulated. We see SharpLink ETH treasury is now 3.6 billion after adding another 56,000 Ether. We see stablecoin inflows are rising on Binance. Now, this is not stablecoin supply, as in, people are selling crypto to have stables. More people are depositing stablecoins right now on centralized exchanges. We're also seeing the AVAX network pass Solana on 24-hour stablecoin inflows. We're seeing, Donald Trump Jr.'s VC firm investing in Poly Market, which is really good for stuff like football.fun or Myriad on Abstract. So there's lots of things going on right now in the industry that are pointing to more upside over the course of the coming months. And I think really preparing for late September and October could be the peak of the altcoin market. That's when things could potentially get silly. We actually see a little bit of an alt season occur, because I do think we will have an alt season. It's just the catalysts are starting to line up to show us that that is around the corner, but we're just not there yet at this time. But let's just go ahead and jump into it. Obviously, I mentioned this is not going to be a long video, but I do think this is some of the best actions you can take right now in one of the hottest altcoins across the entire cycle to make sure that not only you have upside right at this moment with the potential price action, which we've been talking about this, and if you took this trade with us, you should be well in profit. I am talking about Hyperliquid. And obviously, this is one of the most popular coins in crypto, but it's funny because if I talked about Hyperliquid to anyone that is not degenerately on crypto Twitter or YouTube, they really have no idea what it is. Like, what is Hyperliquid? I've never heard of it. I like the ticker. Hype is a really nice crypto project name, but like, what is Hyperliquid? Anyone I tell, they ask, like my friends will ask me, Johnny, what should I be buying? And I always say, Hype 𝗏𝗏, those types of tokens. So Hyperliquid is the one they're consistently like, I've heard of all the others, but what is Hyperliquid? Which shows you the retail side of crypto, and the retail people that are coming into the space still have no idea the prospectus of what is going on Hyperliquid. So right now we're sitting near all-time highs, but we first got into this token on this channel at $27, and on top of that we've been putting in long positions at the low $40, and that's a long-term leverage trade for me. And the only reason I'm saying it's a long-term leverage trade for us on the channel is Hyperliquid just recorded $330.8 billion in trading volume in July, which surpasses Robinhood. And their market cap is 6x undervalued Robinhood. So literally, Hyperliquid is doing more volume than the retail application for stocks and crypto, so which is absolutely insane, right? Recording this amount of volume, surpassing something like Robinhood, is literally unheard of. They're doing more than a lot of centralized exchanges as well. And the thing that I love about this token, when the market rebounds at all, Hyperliquid just absolutely rockets. We're sitting near that $50 price point, and I think $100 by the end of the cycle is realistic. And we've talked about that a lot on this channel, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I'm not trying to give you guys an entry into Hyperliquid. We've done that. We've been in at the high 20s, and on top of that, our leverage long position right now is looking phenomenal from those low $40 levels, and I'm keeping that open for the foreseeable future. I think this is the one coin that is going to continue to dominate the market just due to this narrative. I think this alone is the type of headline that a normal, sidelined, I want to put some money into crypto, I see Bitcoin's price, I see Ethereum back at 4,000, what should I invest in? This is the type of tagline here that's going to get people involved and wanting to learn more about Hyperliquid. But like I said, this is not really about the current entry. This is about future return. In this video, I'm going to give you the best strategy to maximize a future airdrop in this ecosystem by just simply 4 steps, and it could give you 4 ecosystem airdrops. Okay, let's just dive into it. I want to show you guys, first of all, the Hyper EVM chain. Look at this growth. The most bullish chart in crypto is the TVL on Hyperliquid. I genuinely believe Hyperliquid TVL will be orders of magnitude higher next year. You should be getting exposure to this. And I absolutely agree. I mean, it is literally nothing but up. And there's not enough wallets here to justify that this is oversaturated or overfarmed. So this is something that I'm really locked into. And we've been talking about bridging over to Hyperliquid EVM, not just the core app, for quite some time. We also see here Project X, one of the ecosystem projects, is doing 40% as much daily fees as Aerodrome, one of the biggest DeFi protocols in the entire industry. And on top of that, they buy back the token every day with their revenue, which is insane. So imagine Hype hits a new all-time high using fees from the XPL, the Justin Sun shorts yesterday. It was a crazy dilemma, but they're buying the Hype token back. That will be poetic if that does occur. And that's what they do every single day. We also see people agreeing with my thesis here. We've been talking about this for months. And on top of that, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, if you're not doing anything on core, as in trading perps or using Hyper EVM, you probably hate money. It was the single best airdrop farm ever. They do have a season 2 airdrop around the corner as well. And a good chunk of crypto Twitter missed it, and for some reason still hasn't bridged to Hyper EVM. There's tons of money on Hyperliquid, and it's rapidly eating the SEX market share, as we see with headlines like doing more volume than Robinhood. On top of that, Project X probably retires people with its airdrop. I'm not sure it's going to be quite that magnitude, but regardless, I do think it's going to be a fantastic airdrop for those involved. So let's just go ahead and start diving in to the 4-step process here to get allocated into potentially 4 future airdrops, including the biggest ecosystem app airdrop inside of Hyperliquid. And also all of this lines up for you to be involved for the Hyperliquid Season 2 airdrop. Let's jump into it. First and foremost, you want to bridge money into just the core app, okay? If you are not exposed to Hyperliquid whatsoever, you just want to make sure, first of all, that you have money on Hyperliquid. So there's 2 ways that you can do this. Number 1, just go on Hyperliquid, the official site, their Twitter. I'll just pull it up really quick so we can Hyperliquid. and we can just show you the official link here, hyperfoundation.org, and then you can just jump in and start utilizing some of the tools on the native application. Now, what I will say is this is not the EVM chain. There's two ways to do this. You can go to Hyperliquid, you can deposit different types of tokens, and you can also use our native platform Nexus to be able to jump in here and trade the markets using Hyperliquid. This will give you credit towards your Hyperliquid volume, and you can just come in here and deposit USDC, easy in and out. And also there's some jurisdiction restrictions. You don't really have to face that up front utilizing the Nexus platform versus something like Hyperliquid. So those are two ways to bridge into the core app, whether you use the native Hyperliquid site and just deposit, or you come into a third party like something like Nexus. Regardless, both of them will give you credit to your perps account volume, which could factor into the future airdrop. Number two is moving money into Hyper EVM. Now, this is where that TVL chart is going parabolic. This is where I think that honestly, Hyperliquid is going to prioritize the season 2 airdrop based on not only your volume on the DEX and the perps, but I really think they're going to prioritize the amount of activity that you have on the native EVM chain, which is Hyper EVM. So what you want to do is use a native ecosystem bridge. I wouldn't say, like, for me, I like to use Synapse protocol for a lot of different chain bridging, for example. That's one of my most used protocols as far as just chain to chain. But if I was you, I would not use a app like that just caters to tons of chains. I would use a dedicated Hyperliquid bridge, which to me, the best one in the ecosystem is HyperUnit. HyperUnit, you can just deposit native tokens into Hyperliquid and immediately be up and running within 5 minutes and have money on the Hyper EVM chain, ready to get involved with some of the different applications in the ecosystem. On top of that, people are speculating that Unit has done enough volume as a protocol in the ecosystem to justify a potential token in the future. So this is another one. So you're doubling up here. Bridging money into Hyper EVM could just get you allocation into the season 2 Hyperliquid airdrop. But number two, you could also bridge in from a native bridge like Unit, and if they drop a token, you have already qualified yourself for 2 ecosystem airdrops just with some of these simple actions. You don't have to play around with a ton of money to make this happen. Throw in $100, $500 into the ecosystem here. Align it within your perps account, and then also align it within, the Hyper EVM ecosystem. Stake some stuff, and you're going to qualify yourself for all of these future airdrops. And also, if you want to use a link to get involved, the official link to Hyperliquid, I will drop that down below in the description. It gets you right onto the Hyperliquid app. You can deposit, you can bridge straight from there as well. So I'll leave that link down below in the description. But moving on, once you have money on Hyper EVM, I think there's 2 things that you really need to be farming. First and foremost is Project X. We've talked about this on the channel from day one. When this launched, this had maybe 20 million TVL. Now it has $116 million in TVL. As you can see here, it's a great way to earn yield on your native Hyper EVM assets. They have tons of different pairs listed here, but the ones that I would really focus on, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here and say, go into some of these pools that have crazy APRs. Like, this is not black hole. Black hole for me, I want to farm the things with the highest APRs, earn as much black as possible, redistribute, take profit, do some for locks, etc. That's on the Avalanche chain. Here, I'd be strictly gunning for the points. Up here in the top right, you can see, you connect up your wallet and you'll be able to see the amount of points that you have earned. My wallet's just not connected at this point in time, but you can look at all these different pairs. The pairs I would really focus on, however, will be either hype to hype, because then you keep your Hyperliquid, no impermanent loss, and you can make sure that you continue to earn yield on your Hyperliquid holdings. Or I would really focus on K-hype. Now, what K-hype is kinetic staked hype. And this right here also could have a huge potential airdrop in the future. And literally, the way you get involved with it is just by holding K-hype. It's kind of like holding JLP in the Solana ecosystem. It's like, a little bit of an ecosystem play of staking the native token underneath Kinetics technology. So 𝗘𝗍 is what I would search here and figure out if you want to take more risk and earn more on your hype, you could do 𝗘𝗍 in USDT. But if Hyperliquid keeps going up, you're going to get redistributed 100% back into USDT and have to buy back your Hyperliquid. So what I'd be doing here is not for upside. I'd literally just go stake hype to 𝗘𝗍, and you're earning 5% on that. Regardless, you're here for the points. So every single day, you're going to start to see your points accrue based off the amount that you have staked here. That's going to give you access to Project X's airdrop, which is what 𝗫𝗄𝗃 thinks is going to be one of the biggest airdrops of the entire Hyper EVM chain. And I completely agree. I mean, they have over $115 million in TVL. Their volume over the last 24 hours is 263,000. They've done 258,000 in revenue over the last 24 hours. This application is a killer on Hyper EVM, and I do think this is going to be a crazy airdrop. So you're going to want to get involved here, even just stake $100. It doesn't really matter. What you're gunning for, like I mentioned, is points. So I'll also drop a link down below to Project X. If you just want to use verified links, I can leave that down below. And you'll get a 10% bonus on your points on this protocol. And by staking 𝗘𝗍, you get involved with the biggest staking layer on Hyperliquid. Kinetics has crossed over $1 billion in stake for 𝗘𝗍 Hyperliquid. So this is literally the biggest stake play in all of Hyperliquid's ecosystem. And if Kinetic drops a token, I think this could be as big as something like a Project X. So that is an easy way. Bridge money onto Core. Do some trading there and just make sure you have some volume on Hyperliquid. Step one, there's a link down below in the description for that. Number two is use a local bridge like a hype unit or hyper unit, pardon me, and deposit there, move money into the EVM. You could potentially qualify for the hyper unit airdrop in the future. From there, come to Project X, use something like a 𝗘𝗍 to make sure you're doubling up on Project X and Kinetic airdrops. From there, you just earn some yield on your Hyperliquid holdings by holding a hype and 𝗘𝗍 pair. You're not there for the APR. You're there to park your Hyperliquid, let it grow, earn some money on top of it, but most importantly is get allocation into this future airdrop by getting as much points on this platform as humanly possible. All of this will combine into the fact that you can get Season 2 Hyperliquid airdrop. And I think this is still so underfarmed. Like, compared to other chains, compared to other ecosystems, people have really not dove into the Hyper EVM side of things enough. And I think this is going to end up being one of the biggest profitable opportunities. It's not free money because you have to use liquidity up front to earn points here, bridge money, etc. But you could probably come out on top massively just by using a small amount of capital in these ecosystems and simply trying to run up points and volume across Hyperliquid Core, bridging on Hyper Unit, staking here on Project X, and utilizing 𝗘𝗍 to earn some future points for a potential Kinetic airdrop. So I think this is not talked about enough on crypto Twitter and even YouTube. And I think most people would just say, go buy Hyperliquid. It's going to $100. I think that as well. But I don't even think that's the biggest alpha on Hyperliquid. I think the 4 steps I just laid out to you right now could provide the biggest future returns, all the while on the journey that Hyperliquid probably does hit triple digits this cycle. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel. I'll leave all the official links to get involved in the various Hyperliquid apps that we talked about in this video in the description down below. And leave a comment. Are you farming Hyperliquid? Are you involved with any of the platforms that we talked about? Have you faded Hyperliquid to this point? When did you buy your first hype? I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, like, subscribe, play well, my friends, trade responsibly, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.